Hi, this is Vicki Romaine with Cheerful Greetings, and today I'm going to show you another way of using clear embossing powder. Okay, let's get going here, and what I'm going to do is use the same stamp that I used in my previous video on using clear embossing powder. So this is so that you can see the difference even more. Okay, I'm going to take my either Versamark or embossing ink. In my case, it's Versamark. What I am doing now is stamping my front of my card, or in this case, just a plain piece of cardstock, with this stamp. Now, I'm putting the images on the front in random order. In other words, they're not in a straight line, or they're not in a particular position like a circle or anything like that. I've just put them on the cardstock randomly. And you can barely see the impression as I do it. And what we're going to do is put some clear embossing powder on top of it, and I'll show you what will happen. I'm even having some of my images come off the cardstock. I like to have some of them, not only the whole image on the cardstock, but also some partial prints. I'm sifting my clear embossing powder on top of my cardstock. And now I'm going to spread it around just by turning the cardstock one direction and another. And as I do this, you will see that the powder is sticking to the cardstock where I made the impression with my stamp. What I've done here was I didn't put quite enough powder on the cardstock, so I was adding some more on it to make sure I have the images covered completely. You want to make sure you get all parts of the image covered with the clear embossing powder. I'm folding my copy paper and letting my embossing powder go down the little trench that I made in the middle and putting it back into my jar. I have a few places here where the powder stuck to the clear area of my cardstock. And so I'm just taking my little brush and brushing those extra little pieces of powder away. Now comes the fun part, when we get to see our images come alive. I'm going to get my heat gun here, and I'll be trying to keep from burning my hand, but we'll see how well this works. And as you can tell, as the clear embossing melts, the images become more prominent on the cardstock, and you can see them. And they are darker than they were before. Okay, this came out pretty nice. I'm very pleased with the way it looks. And I'm going to put this aside now, and we'll work on the other piece of cardstock. I'll be making a card out of this, and so stay around to the end of the video and see how I use this decorative piece of cardstock. Okay, I have my stamp out again. Okay, I am using dye ink this time, Adirondack dye ink, and it's eggplant is the color. And I'm trying to get the ink on my stamp smoothly. And for some reason, this stamp is not picking up the ink really well, but I want to use it as an example. So we'll see how it works. Now, if you notice on the other sample I did, I stamped all the images at one time. This time, I'm only stamping one image, and then I'm embossing. The reason for this is because dye ink dries much faster than embossing ink or Versamark. So that's why you have to do one image at a time. Now the heat gun will bring the color out much more. You will notice this as I run my heat gun. Again, I put some of my images off the paper, so that was done on purpose to have part of it off. I'll do one more, and then we'll skip to putting our final touches on our cards. Okay, as you can see, I've have put 3 of my stamped images on the front of my card, and I will be putting on a sentiment after I finish embossing the images. I have my sentiment here. It's on a wooden block, and I will be putting the dye ink on it and embossing it just like I did the 3 images. We're almost through here. I'm just going to put my leftover embossing powder in the jar once more and screw the top and all on it. Then we'll put a little dab of glue on my front of my card, and I'll stick it to the card itself, and we'll be finished here. And this really didn't take too terribly long, and I think you will like the finished cards. I'm putting this front on top of a gray cardstock, and so my card itself will be gray, but the design on the front is the white cardstock and eggplant. And I think it makes a nice combination. Now let's go to my next card. And this particular card, I'm going to put a banner across it. And I do a lot of get well cards. And this time, I think I'm going to have my card go this direction. I don't do very many cards this way. And my banner will be perfect on it. I do like the blue with the images on it on top of the white, and the blue has having two different shades really looks nice. So I'm going to put my little banner across here that says, hope you feel better soon. I do a lot of get well cards, and that will finish this one off. The only thing I have to do is put a sentiment on the inside of both of my cards. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. These were fun to do. I do not really like working with dye ink. I prefer the water-based inks, but in this particular case, I think the cards came out fairly nice. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please come back and see me and see what I have in store for you for next time. I plan on taking this image to the ultimate level of real bright colors. So you'll have to see what I have in mind. Take time to try these techniques, and I hope you have a great crafting day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.